Alright, so today we're here with Somers Varsity Basketball head coach, Coach James. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
And the first question I have for you is what inspired you to become a basketball coach?
I think it stems from having a lot of great coaches back when I played. Coming from youth to CYO to AAU to high school. I think seeing a lot of the great coaches that I had and the mindset that they had given me it definitely inspired me to be the coach I am today.
Alright. And how did you work up to where you are now as a coach?
It's been definitely a long journey. I started as a CYO basketball coach in St. James of Carmel and kind of worked my way up. I was coaching there even when I was playing at Carmel, so I would leave practice to go to another practice to coach. And then shortly after that, I was a volunteer assistant at Carmel High School where I played, and I was there for about 6 years. I was a assistant varsity coach, and then my final 2 years there, I was a head JV coach as well. And then after that, kind of just worked my way up to becoming and doing my job as becoming a head varsity coach. So that's where I'm at today.
Alright, very cool. So you started to tell us a little bit about that already, but what is your background in the sport of basketball?
Yeah, I played. So I grew up in Carmel. I had two older brothers who went through the Carmel system and played for Carmel basketball. I did my time there as well. I was a 3-year starter there at Carmel. Ended up graduating from Carmel and having an opportunity to be on staff right away, which was great for me. So that was where kind of my coaching career kind of took off. And I'm grateful for it because I played there and I was comfortable there. And it definitely was a place to get back to since it was my community as well.
Yeah, most definitely. So how do you strategize your team for each game?
It's different each game. We have the same mindset. It's from any team I coach, it's the same mindset of making sure these guys know that we can win this game. But we strategize based on our opponent, depending on what we kind of want to play and the style we want to play. Every team that we go up against is different. So the strategy behind it changes almost week to week, game by game. But it stays a similar mindset of playing defense and how effective we can play defense and the ability to score the basketball. So, it kind of stays similar, but it changes a little bit when you play different types of programs and different types of teams.
And then what about coaching do you enjoy the most?
I think the most enjoyable thing is, building relationships with the kids and the players. I think seeing the growth of the beginning of a season where you're first meeting a brand new team basically and kind of growing with them and seeing your relationship grow with different types of kids and learning how they are outside of basketball itself. I think that's what I pride myself in a lot, is just getting to know these kids a little bit more outside of the basketball court, and finding ways to connect with them a little bit more than just basketball itself.
All right. So before you came to Somers, start telling us a little already, but before you came to Somers, what coaching positions did you have and where?
Yeah, so my coaching resume, I guess, is I started at Carmel, obviously, as a volunteer assistant, worked my way up to being a assistant varsity coach, and then worked my way up to becoming a 2-year JV basketball coach. After that, I had left to take a job at Ketchum. So this is in Wappingers, New York. Great experience for me because it was a different atmosphere. It kind of pushed me and challenged me to be a better person, better coach. I was there for a year on staff as a varsity assistant coach, and then I was there for a head JV basketball coach as well. Soon after, I had gotten a phys ed job at Kennedy Catholic right down the road from here, and spent a year there as a head coach. Their head coach had left a couple weeks before the season started. I wasn't really prepared to be a head coach. I was actually signed on to be back at Ketchum that year, and my AD at the time gave me an opportunity to be a head coach there. It was challenging. The Catholic League is very different than the public league, but it pushed me again. It just challenged me to be a better coach and to think outside the box a little bit. But after a year, I had gotten an opportunity to interview here, and grateful I'm still here for year 2.
All right. So how would you describe your coaching style, and how does it affect the team's mission and culture?
So I'm a coach that is intense, I would say. It's a lot of accountability, and I think that's, I had a recent conversation with somebody about just teaching accountability more and more because that's what life brings a little bit. You'll never see me silent, quiet. It's a very active coaching style, but it's a style where I want these kids to know what passion kind of looks like. When you throw on a jersey, it should mean a lot more. And for me, it's when I throw on my coaching shirts, that's the passion for it. So, hopefully it builds the culture, and I've seen it kind of take a change a little bit for the better. But it's for sure just allowing these kids to push themselves to a different level and getting to their ceiling, which I don't know if a lot of these kids know what their ceiling is yet, but challenging them to get there and be part of that for sure.
All right, so like during games and practice, how do you keep your athletes engaged and motivated?
It's a lot about challenging them. Like we've been in certain situations this year, and our record doesn't really show it, but we've been in situations where we're down at halftime a little bit, and it's, going into halftime is just challenging kids to play at a different level and play at a different kind of pace and speed, and they've learned to come out and challenge themselves and come back into games a little bit. So that's kind of what our practices have been like too. It's just allowing them the practices to be a little bit harder than the games. It's just to challenge them in those situations. So, we like to push these guys a little bit and just get ways to bring out the best in them that they don't think they had. So to definitely challenge them more.
All right. And so I see that you have a role in the New York Basketball Academy. Could you tell me a little bit about what you do there?
Yeah, so this is, we're going on year 2, actually. This is my business. I own it. We started it 2 years ago just to kind of create a travel basketball program for all ages. We go from ages or grades, 2nd grade to 12th grade. So we started at 4 teams my first year, and then going into my 2nd year now is we're growing to 13, 14 teams. So it's grown. Just allows people to find a safe space in basketball. We travel a lot. Our serious higher level teams travel all over the place on the East Coast, but we definitely have built something special around the area to have kids enjoy the game, the sport, but also get them a little bit of exposure in the college level as well.
All right. And so, like when a new player joins the team, how do you decide what position works best for the player? When they're trying to decide.
It's kind of a lot about watching how they play. My old head coach used to tell me that he could tell what a player is, where he plays, the minute he starts to warm up and picks up a basketball. So I've gotten an eye of kind of where kids will fit and what's going to suit them best. But also, I tell kids all the time, like, we have an open door type of policy where if they feel uncomfortable in a position that we're playing them at and they want to kind of switch that up or talk to us about that, we allow those conversations to happen. We want, again, the key to high school sports and any sport, it's just allowing these kids to be in the best position that they feel comfortable in, right? So we might think as a coaching staff a kid might fit a certain position, but meanwhile the kid isn't really comfortable there. So allowing them to have those conversations with us is kind of the best that we have figured out to try to get these kids in the best situations possible.
All right. And is there a certain basketball coach that you look up to, and if so, why?
So if anybody knows me, it's I'm a huge UConn basketball fan. So Dan Hurley has definitely been somebody I look up to. His intensity is consistent throughout every single game, and if you watch him, he's just coaches extremely hard, and he holds his kids accountable extremely tough. But he also loves on them very hard. So it's allowing, and players have trusted him enough to coach hard, right? Accept the hard coaching, but also at the end of the game, you'll see that he hugs his players, loves on his players. So it's somebody that I definitely look up to and hope to model to the best of my ability for sure.
All right. And is there a certain NBA team that you root for?
I'm a New York Knicks fan, a diehard. So I've been following for 28 years now. So that's my team, and I'm hoping for a championship soon.
And then to end things off, what is your most proudest moment as a coach?
It's a tough one. There's a lot of proud moments, I would say. I think just getting the ability to coach different types of kids is one of my most proudest moments. But I think I in my time here at Somers so far, I think one of the proudest is last year we honored a kid that had torn his ACL during the football season. Okay, one of the Hauser brothers, and in one of the games we allowed, it was us versus John Jay Cross River, and we allowed him to score the first bucket. Just to end his time here, and as a senior, it's always hard to kind of go through an injury. But just to see the moment and to see his parents in the crowd get emotional a little bit, and just to see him and his brother spend that time, one final time on the floor together, I think that was definitely a great moment for us as well here.
All right, that's nice. All right, well, thank you for coming in today.
Of course, thank you for having me. I
Thank you.
appreciate all you do.